The first video had no sender, no file name, no date. Just me, sleeping, filmed from an angle that doesn't exist in my apartment. I moved into the apartment on Selkirk Street after the divorce. That's the word I use, the divorce, even though nothing was finalized, even though Marcus still called sometimes at 11 p.m. and breathed without saying anything. It was easier to call it that. Easier to explain to people why I was alone in a two-bedroom on the 4th floor with a view of a parking structure and no furniture except a mattress on the floor and a kitchen table with mismatched chairs. I worked from home. Tech support for a software company nobody's heard of. The job was fine. Quiet. I liked quiet then. I'd wake up, make coffee, sit at the kitchen table in my robe until the first ticket came in, and then I'd just work. That was the whole shape of my life for about 3 months. Coffee, tickets, frozen meals, sleep. Sleep by 10 p.m. most nights because there was nothing else to do, and exhaustion is a kind of mercy. The neighborhood was new to me. I'd walk to the corner store sometimes and feel like I was playing a character. Woman who lives here, woman who belongs here. And I'd buy a coffee and a newspaper I wouldn't read and carry them home like props. The guy at the register always said, "Have a good one." And I always said, "You too." And that was often the only conversation I had all day. I didn't think anything was wrong. That's important to say. I thought I was healing. The first sign I missed entirely. I only understand it now. I kept waking up tired. Not regular tired. The deep kind, where your body feels like it weighed twice as much overnight. I'd sleep 8, 9 hours and wake up more exhausted than when I'd gone to bed. I blamed it on stress. On the apartment air being too dry. On the mattress being on the floor instead of a frame. I ordered a frame online and assembled it wrong, and it wobbled every time I turned over. Then the window thing. I had a habit. I always cracked the window before bed. Fresh air. But twice I woke to find it fully closed. Once, latched. I told myself I'd gotten up in the middle of the night, half asleep, and closed it because of a sound outside. Except the sound I half remembered. Distant rain. Wasn't right for the season. It hadn't rained in 2 weeks. My phone was dying faster than usual. I'd charge it to 100% before sleeping and wake to find it at 30, 28, once 11. I complained about it on a tech forum. People said background refresh. I turned everything off and it kept happening. I told myself, old building, drafts, battery. I told myself this confidently, the way you do when you've already decided not to be afraid. The first video arrived on a Tuesday. I know because I checked. I always check now. It came through my own phone. Not a message, not an app. Just a file sitting in my downloads folder when I woke up, like it had always been there. I only found it because I was cleaning out storage. 22 seconds. Shot in the dark, in night vision. That greenish, too clear quality that makes everything look like evidence. The camera was positioned from the corner of my bedroom, near the chair I piled clothes on. High up, angled down. It was me, sleeping, completely still, lying on my side, facing the window. The timestamp in the corner read 3:14 a.m., 6 nights prior. I watched it 4 times. I kept waiting for something to happen, for a figure to enter the frame, for my body to move strangely, for something to make sense of why this existed. Nothing happened. It was just me, sleeping, in my own room, filmed by something I didn't put there. I searched the apartment. Every surface. Every corner. I stood on my kitchen table and checked the ceiling. Nothing. I called my sister. She said it was probably something I'd done sleepwalking, that maybe I'd recorded myself accidentally. I asked her how a 22-second video ends up in a downloads folder. Shot from a fixed angle, I couldn't have held myself. With night vision, I didn't enable. She said I should get a therapist. She said it gently. It still landed like an accusation. The second video came 5 days later. 41 seconds. Same angle, same corner, same greenish light. This time I was on my back. My mouth was slightly open. The timestamp, 2:47 a.m. In this one something was different. It took me several viewings to identify it. In the background, near the doorway, the shadow was wrong. Not a figure exactly. A density. Like the darkness had a slightly different texture in that one rectangle of space. It could have been anything. A coat on a hook I didn't own. A trick of the compression. I screenshotted it and zoomed in until it became pixels and told myself it was nothing. I changed the locks. I bought a doorbell camera and pointed another camera at my bedroom door. I slept with the lights on for a week. No new videos came. So I started to think, and this is the part I'm most ashamed of, that maybe my sister was right. Maybe I had done it. I'd read about people doing strange things in their sleep, elaborate things, things they had no memory of. I'd been under enormous stress. I wasn't eating well. Maybe some part of me was documenting myself as a cry for help I couldn't make while awake. I even Googled it. Sleep filming. Sleep behavior disorder. I found forums. People who drove cars at night, who cooked meals, who sent emails. The brain can do almost anything while you're not watching it. That explanation scared me less than the alternative, so I held on to it. The third video had no timestamp. The file was just there one morning, no metadata at all, the way you'd scrub a file clean before sending it somewhere. 58 seconds. And in this one, I was awake. In this one, I was sitting up in bed, just sitting, staring at the wall. My eyes were open. My face was completely expressionless. Not blank the way you look when you're thinking, but blank the way a face looks when the person inside it has gone somewhere else. I watched myself sit like that for almost a full minute and then slowly lie back down, pull the cover up, and go still. I have no memory of that night. None. I brought the videos to the police. The officer who took my statement was kind about it in a way that made clear he didn't believe me. He asked if I had an ex-partner with a key. I said the locks were new. He asked if I'd considered that I might have filmed these myself. I said I'd considered it. He nodded like that was the correct answer. I went home and sat at my kitchen table for a long time. What I kept coming back to was this. In all 3 videos, the angle never changed. Same corner, same height. Whatever filmed me knew exactly where to stand to stay out of frame. Outside the range of my door camera, never visible in the bedroom mirror. It knew the room. I started going back through my phone more carefully then. Not just the downloads, everything. And that's when I found the uploads folder. I didn't know my phone had one. I'd never used it, never opened it. It had 41 files. I only opened 3 before I put the phone face down on the table and didn't touch it for the rest of the day. They were the same videos. My bedroom. Me sleeping. But these were originals. Longer, uncut, better quality. And the angles were slightly different from what I'd received. Like the ones sent to me had been edited down from something larger. Selected from. Someone had been going through the footage, choosing what to show me. I moved out 4 days later. I'm staying with my sister now. I haven't slept well since. Every morning I check my phone before I open my eyes. Just lie there in the dark and feel around the nightstand for it and check the downloads folder first, before anything else. It's been clean for 6 weeks. But here's what I think about at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep, and my sister's house is quiet, and the shadows in the corners of the guest room don't look quite right to me anymore. Those 41 files on my phone weren't sent from somewhere. They were uploaded from my device, by an app one can't find, to a server I can't identify, for an audience I can't name. I was never the one being watched by someone in my room. I was the content.